Hello, YouTube viewers. Today, our lesson is going to discuss methods. We're going to this is going to be a two-part series. The first part, today's lesson, we'll discuss method headers. We're going to discuss access specifiers, static versus non-static, and return statements, return types. So let's go ahead and get started. Go ahead and launch Eclipse if that's the IDE that you're using. Excuse me, sorry about that. Okay, so today we're going to go ahead and right click the source folder that you're using. It can be anyone. Then you're just going to create class. um, and today I'm going to just title my class all about methods. Excuse me, sorry. Whoa. And I know I haven't been checking this box. Today we're going to go ahead and discuss that since we are discussing methods. So what I want you to do is go ahead and check this box. Hit finish. Okay. So if you notice today, it's a little bit different than what you've been seeing after you created your class. You already have your main method created. So that button, that's what it does for you. And it also puts a little comment in when it does it, auto-generate method. Okay, let me show you another shortcut as well. So if you don't want to do it that way, or if you forget, go ahead and delete that. Just type main, control spacebar, and it gives you some selected classes or other statements that you can select. Go ahead and select main, and it generates it for you. Okay, so that's a little trick. I know we've been typing it out. Now I think after today we should understand what this does. So if you want to, you can still type it out. But for me to save time and to get this done quickly, I go ahead and select that box. So I just type main, control spacebar if I forget to select that box. Okay, so today, like I said, we're discussing methods. Methods are a block of statement that runs your code. You can have one method, you can have several methods. It all depends on how you write your code. For example, right now we have only one method on our screen, which is this whole statement right here, which is inside a class. A method has to be inside a class. Um, Now, if you look at this method, the way it's constructed, this is the header of the method. This is mainly what we're going to discuss today. Okay. Um, this method, if you have, let's say for example, I have another method. I'm just gonna go public static void. So I'm just gonna type out this method. I'm gonna have it say sys out, control spacebar. You can have it say whatever you want. And this method here, I'm gonna have it sys out, control spacebar. I'm gonna have this method say, okay, so we have two methods. Okay, one of them has a hello, how are you? Not hello, but how are you statement. The other one has bacon is good statement. So if I go ahead and run this code, bring this back up, and we see what displays here is how are you. Bacon is good statement, which is inside this method, does not run. Okay. Again, just to reiterate, this is the method header, and this is the body of the method. So everything that's inside the body of everything that's within the body of the method should run. But if we look here, it doesn't run. The reason why is your main method is what's gonna run your code. So you have to have to invoke or call that the other methods within the main method to get it to run. So I don't have this method, bacon is yummy method, within my main method. So it's not going to be able to run. So if I add it, oops, bacon, again, I made a mistake, bacon, and I control spacebar. Now, once when I run it again, you're going to see that it displays. How are you? Bacon is good. Because I called it within this method. So let's go ahead and delete this. Okay, let's take a closer look at the main method. If we see here, we have this word public. That's the access specifier. That lets you know where you can access this code where you can access this method and who can see this method. So what do I mean by that? If I come down here, you know what? For this demonstration, let me try to create a different class. Okay, so I can't. I'll have to open it. Let me go ahead and do that. New. So go ahead and create a new class. What did I name it? Second method. I can either let me click this button this time. Okay, so my main method is created, and I'm gonna delete this here. Get rid of that. So okay, let's say I have a private static system out. That's why it's out spacebar. Okay, outside class. Okay. I forgot to set my method, my return type. Spacebar. Okay. So we have this method right here. We stated private. So what that's going to do is if I'm in another class and I want to access this method, I'm not going to be able to because it's private. The only person that can access this is if you're in this method, if you're within this class. So let me show you. I'm going to come to this class. I'm going to do second method. Okay, you see how the second method class pops up, gives you an option to select that class. And within that class, everything that is public, you can access. So so we have our class, and we have our main. So our main is this one right here. But if you look carefully, the other method, we do not see that as an option. And if I try to force it, it's not going to let me. So copy, paste that. Again, you see here, we have our red error change, and if we look at the error code, it says change visibility of other method to package, or you can change to public like the main method right here. So let me create another one. I'm going to put 2 right here. I'm outside the first class. Okay, so again, look here, we're going to change this to public, the access specifier, and we're going to come back here and put the 2 here, which is the name of this method. And look at this. We have no errors, nothing, everything's fine. Save it. I forgot to save this one. Save it. Okay, so I saved both files. The reason why you guys saw the red error message was because I didn't save the other file. Now that when I run it, we get our first statement, and then we get I am outside of the first class and I am public, which is this one here. So again, our access specifier let us know who can access it and who can see that method. So we have public, which you can access it from any other classes. Doesn't matter what class you use, you can use it. Like for example, this system out print, this is a class, and this is a method, and we can access it. Example right here, you see it says public void println because it's public. Okay, that's why we're able to access that method, system out println. And again, this method that we just created here, we can access it because the access specifier is public. Now, if we don't state, let me create another one. Let's say, for instance, you just forget to state the access specifier. So you have static void, other method 2, change it to 3, save it. If I come here, I change it to 3, save it, run it. I am outside of, well, let me change this. Save it, come here, we're gonna run it. I'm outside of the first class, and I am a package private method. So basically what happens is, since I didn't specify a access specifier, it defaults to package private. So that means anything, if we come over here, this is the package right here. So anything within this package we can access. And any class within this package can access this method. Okay. And then we also, so that discuss public access specifier, protected. Let me go ahead and use protected. I almost skipped protected. I'm sorry about that. Basically, we have 4 types of modifiers, you can call them. So again, same thing here. Now this time we're using protected. And watch what happens now. Save it. Come to my other class. And I'm going to change this method to 4. And we can access that. Okay, so the main one that we cannot access, remember, is a private. Protected, if you're in the same class, if in the same package, and you're a subclass, you can access it. Now, if I created another class that's not in this package, I will not be able to reach this one right here. Okay, so that's just access specifier helps you with protecting. Like if you have some kind of method in here you don't want people to see, or you don't want anybody that's not within that class to use, then that determines what kind of access you want to, or what kind of modifier you want it to be. So that covers the access modifier. Now we're gonna get to the static. Now, if you looked at all these right here, static, 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 that the reason why I create them static is that when you do that, you do not have to make an object. And what I mean by that, let me come here. Let me use this class as my example today. So we'll do public void. So I skip the static. Other protected 5. Copy this statement, put it right here. First class, and I am. Copy this to make it quicker for me. Save it as well. Now I just created this method, and notice the difference is it's a public method, but and it's void. So void is the return type, but I skipped static. So if you don't have the word static in there, it automatically defaults to non-static. Okay, so excuse me. So take that, put it here, and look at this. We get our error message. And basically, what's happening is it's saying change other method 5 to static. And if you're like, oh, I don't want to do that, this is what you need to do. Come here, delete this. What we're gonna do, just like if you remember our scanner method, when we're taking input, we did scanner new equal scanner parentheses system.in. This is the same thing we have to do. We have to basically create an object to access this method. So second method equals new. Okay, so what we've done, we've created this object to access non-static methods within this class. So now that I've created this get methods, you can call this object whatever you want. I could call it A, B, whatever you want, you can name it. Now that I've created it, now I can access non-static methods. You see here, everything's fine. Once when I create this object, it shows me everything within this method. And again, some classes, we'll cover this another time, but they have other hidden methods that we don't even see. Like hash code, we didn't create this notify. These are methods that are within those classes once when you create it, but you're not able to see. And look at all these here. These are the ones that we actually created. Main, other method 2, other method 3, other method 4, other method 5. So all those are there. And this is the one that we want. So now that we've went ahead and created our object called get methods, go ahead and get the non-static methods. If we run this, okay, sorry, I am outside the first class and I am a non-static method. So that's how we access static. So if you don't want to create an object later on, just skip the static. You insert the static word. Because for example, all these right here, I could just, let me comment these two out like we did before. I can just reference this class name. Second. And here's a class name. Put my period, and it's gonna let me know all the all the non-static methods that you can access. Okay, so we can access the main, we can access the other methods. Let's go ahead and get this. Since this is a static method, excuse me, I can access it. But if it was a non-static, then I'll have to go this route right here, create the object, access. Now the final part is this void piece. So for this void piece, I'm going to go ahead and stay within this class. I'm going to come down here, public int. Now, what int means is whatever this method does, it's going to return something back. So basically, it's going to return a number. That's what I'm saying right here. Okay. Again, you see I'm still having this red error indicator, and that is because I have to add a return statement. So return int will. I'm going to create a variable. Let me see what I want to call this variable. Age. Okay. And again, this is not complete because I have to int age equals 100. Okay. So again, see I created this method, and this time I have a return type instead of void saying there's nothing that this method is returning. I actually have a return type. Now, if you look at this, some people might be like, wait a minute, isn't this returning something? This is not really returning anything. Like when you have the system out within the method, it's just this is what the method is accomplishing. So if I have, like, let me come up here. Do this. So I have a variable here, int a equals, and if I need, for whatever reason, I need this method to do a calculation or return it like it's doing right now, it's returning age, I can go ahead and do this. So you see here, int a is being assigned whatever this is returning, which is 100. And I can come down here just to validate that. I'm going to print out a. And just to show you, this is not going to work. Okay, so go ahead and run this method. I get 100. And if you look carefully here, there's no statements to print out something. when I'm printing it out is up here in this method. So I go ahead and, again, this is non-static, so I'm okay with this. So I basically, by saying int a equals age question, I'm actually calling this method. Whenever you do this, the method, whatever's within this method, runs. So if I had a calculation I wanted to do, once when I call this method up here or invoke it, it completes the task and it assigns it to A. And when I print it out, and now A has a value of 100. So just to show you this process, I can do this like this. Oh, put this up here at A equals 25. Then come down here, A, run this. A is 100. So at first A was 25. And you know what? Let's bring this back to just take all the doubts away. So save, run it. So first A was 25, then A became 100. And A was 25, print it out. Then I reassigned A by calling this method. This method returns something. You could even go a little bit further. Watch this, just to show you. And you see, this time I'm not going to use a public word. I'm just going to and our return statement, return. Instead of return string, I'm supposed to return. There we go. Come up here. This is another trick we can do. Out. What is it called again? Okay, so this time I didn't even bother creating a variable for this method. I'm just going to call it right from this system out print statement. Go ahead and run it. Okay, so again, we have our age scenario that occurred here. So it was at 25, printed out, then we reassigned it right here. Then we called it again. We displayed what A is now, since we assigned it to this method. Then you come down here, system out print, and we just basically invoked or calling this method, displays whatever is in this method or runs that code. And that's basically, in a nutshell, how the method header is constructed and what each field means. To review, this is the access specifier. It can be public, protected, private, or it can be private, protected. Static is if you have to create an object or not. If you use static, you don't have to create an object. You just call the class name. We do that. Like, for example, right here, we call the class name, then we just access whatever method within that class that is static. If it's not static, then we have to create an object, and after that, use that object to access that method. Void is our return type. Basically, void lets us know if we're going to return an int, a string, a double, a boolean, whatever you want to return, you can return it with the void, with using void or using whatever it is. If it's int, like we did down here, we use int. If it's string, we use string. Okay, and I'll give you some more practice, and in our next lesson, we'll take a deeper dive into other things. We'll go ahead and learn how to pass things through each method. But for today, I wanted to go ahead and review that and hope everybody learned something new today. And please subscribe and leave comments below. And thank you for your time. You have a good day.